Let's go here to the history panel. I'm going to click up here and take us all the way back to the very beginning state of the document. I'm going to turn off our practice layer, and now I'm going to just hit Control 0 so you can fit the whole image in the view here. That would be Command 0 on a Mac. What we want to do with this is take this car and separate it from its background. We have a great sky background that we want to put behind this car instead of this drab, boring showroom, and we're going to use the pen tool to select this car. We'll start down at the bottom, I think. And again, we're going to zoom in to 100%, Control 1 on Windows, Command 1 on the Mac. And with our pen tool selected, we'll simply start down here. Now, when you're going to select an object, it's a good idea to always cheat inside the object a little bit. We don't want to start the point here or right at the edge because we don't want to include even a sliver of this background. So we're going to just cheat it in just a bit to make sure that we're not including any of this background. So we're going to click here to add a point. We'll click again, click and drag because that bottom of the car has a little bit of a curve to it, and we'll click here. I'm going to invoke the hand tool again. Now we're going to go here to the edge of this tire. Now what we're going to do, and this is where the pen tool really comes in handy. With the quick selection tool, it would be very difficult to make a distinction between the shadow on the carpet and the black of the tire, but we can just do this manually. So I'm going to click and drag because I want to make a round shape here, a curve for the tire. I'm going to click down here, again at the bottom, and you can see you can drag those handles out. We'll click inside here. There we go. I think our next point can be straight, so we'll simply click there. And let's slide this out of the way. We'll click just inside here, curve it a bit. And now what we're going to do is simply follow this curve up along here. See why we were practicing on that heart shape with all those curves? Alright, we'll add this along here, give this a little curve. And here we can make a straight line. And we would just continue this on. Now, this is a very time-intensive process, so for the sake of this training, I am going to stop right here. I'll zoom out with Control 0 on Windows, Command 0 on a Mac, and I'm just going to close this path very quickly. But I do want you on your own to go and trace the entire car. This is a great practice. We've got a lot of nice edges to move around here. What I will show you, if I click on the Paths panel here, we have a path called Car Outline. Now, if I click on Car Outline, you can see that there's an outline. This is a pre-existing path that I made. Here's where we're going to talk about the difference between a saved path and a work path. A work path occurs whenever you use the pen tool, but it is temporary. If we close this document, even if we save it, that work path will not be saved. Work paths just live in the memory of Photoshop. If you want to reuse your path, you want to save it. So what you do here, if we take this work path, and if we say, well, we do want to save this for later on, simply go to the flyout menu of the Paths panel, choose Save Path, and you give it a name. Let's just call this Test, and hit OK. Now you have an actual save path in here. If you save this document now, the next time you open it up, this path will be in here, and to activate the path, you simply click on it in the Paths panel. Only one path can be active at a time. Now let's go to this car outline path. We're going to click on it to activate it, and you can see the outlines of this path going around the car. Now let's zoom in here to 100%. I'm going to bring up the hand tool by pressing the space bar, and let's go zoom in now at 200%. And again, here's an area of my path that was a little less than perfect. So what we're going to do is edit this. We're going to choose the direct selection tool by pressing A, and we're simply going to click on this path, and you can see that it was a little sloppy with following this part around the car. So we're simply going to click on this path, and let's see, we're going to move this over there so it cuts in nicely. And what we really need is an additional point here. So we're going to choose our pen tool and add a point. We'll hold down the Control key and move this down just inside there. And let's go back to our direct selection tool by pressing A. Let's bring this down so we're cutting out all of the background. This could stand to come over just a bit. And I think we really need one more point here, so I'm going to press P to bring up the pen tool. Click to add that point. Hold down Control, and I can move this down nicely. So now we're cutting nicely into the image and eliminating the small edges of the background that we're showing through. I'm going to press Control 0, Command 0 on a Mac to zoom back out here. What I have just done is update my saved path. The path titled Car Outline now reflects the adjustments that we just made. And now that I've finished editing this path, I'm simply going to choose any other tool in the Tools panel to get rid of the pen tool. We don't want to inadvertently add any more points to this path. I'm going to just press M on the keyboard to select the Marquee tool. And I had previously saved this and called it Car Outline. Now here's the absolute most joyous, wonderful thing about paths created with the pen tool. We can use this path to create a mask. And not just any old mask, the pen is a vector drawing tool, so we'll have a vector mask. A vector mask is resolution independent. You can scale it, you can rotate it, we can adjust it at any point in the future without losing any quality. What we're going to do is click on this car layer here to make it active, and then go up to the layer menu, and we'll go down to vector mask, and we're going to select current path. Car outline is our current path, so we're going to select this, and automatically applied as a vector mask to this car, letting all the non-selected areas of that path reveal the sky layer below. Now let's just go here. I'm going to select the Move tool by pressing V, and I'll just move this car down a little bit. And look at our end result. This would be a nice illustration here. We've got the car cut out from its original background, placed over a much more interesting one. So spend some time with the pen tool. Once you get the hang of it, you'll be able to make selections like the pros do.